Did you know that one simple choice in your kitchen could silently raise your risk of stroke, especially at night, without you even realizing it? Sounds dramatic, but for those of us over 60, our blood vessels don't bounce back the way they used to, and the foods we eat, particularly something as seemingly harmless as cheese, can either quietly protect our circulation or push it over the edge. Now, I'm not saying you need to give up cheese forever, but I am saying this type of cheese you eat matters a lot more than most people think. Some of the most common cheeses Americans enjoy every day are loaded with sodium, unhealthy fats, and additives that can stiffen your arteries, spike your blood pressure, and, yes, even trigger a stroke while you're fast asleep. But here's the good news. There are 4 gentle, heart-loving cheeses that can actually support your blood vessels, keep your brain sharp, and still satisfy your taste buds. Takes is a small change, and I'm here to walk you through it. So I want to hear from you. What's the one cheese you find yourself reaching for the most? A cheddar, cream cheese, mozzarella, or maybe something else entirely? Just drop a 1 in the comments if you usually eat soft cheeses, or a 0 if you prefer firm ones. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Health 365, because when it comes to protecting our hearts and minds after 60, every choice don't. Now let's take a closer look at which cheeses could be harming your health and the ones you should be eating daily to keep your blood vessels strong. Senior health tips. Let's start with one that's sitting in almost every American fridge. Processed cheese. You know, those neatly wrapped yellow slices, or the gooey stuff that comes in a jar. They're convenient. They melt beautifully, and they've been part of quick lunches and late-night snacks for decades. But here's the part we often overlook. Processed cheese isn't real cheese. It's more like a science experiment with dairy as the base. Slice can contain over 300 milligrams of sodium, and that's just one. Stack a couple on a sandwich and suddenly you've consumed a third of your daily salt limit. For someone over 60, that's a big deal. Blood vessels naturally become less elastic as we age. So when we add too much salt to the mix, our blood pressure rises and the arteries have to work overtime. The result, a greater chance of hypertension and in many cases a higher risk of stroke, especially during the night when blood pressure can spike without warning. But it's not just the salt. Processed cheeses are also full of saturated fats and emulsifiers which contribute to plaque buildup in your arteries. The American Heart Association has consistently warned that diets high in saturated fat are closely linked to atherosclerosis, a condition where your arteries narrow and harden, reducing blood flow to the brain. A few years ago, a study published in the journal Hypertension found that older adults with high sodium and saturated fat intake had a 35% higher risk of silent strokes. Those sneaky strokes you don't even feel until later damage shows up. So what can you do instead? Start by checking your fridge. If you see a pack of individually wrapped cheese slices, consider replacing them with a more natural option. You don't have to quit cheese entirely, but choosing ones with lower sodium and no artificial additives can protect your heart and brain more than you might realize. Let's move on to another popular cheese that might surprise you with its risks. Just tangy, bold, and often considered a grown-up flavor, something many develop a taste for later in life. But while the complex flavor can be tempting, especially on salads or with crackers, blue cheese comes with hidden dangers that many over 60 should be aware of. What makes blue cheese unique is its mold, specifically the Penicillium cultures that create its signature veins. But along with that, strong flavor comes something called tyramine. Tyramine is a naturally occurring compound found in aged foods, and it's known to interact with blood pressure. For those with sensitive vascular systems or who are on certain medications like MAO inhibitors, tyramine can cause dangerous spikes in blood pressure. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension showed that individuals over 60 who consumed high tyramine diets were more likely to experience sudden increases in blood pressure, sometimes within hours of eating. Combine that with already weakened or narrowed arteries, and you've got a recipe for what doctors call a hypertensive crisis, a medical emergency that can lead directly to stroke or heart attack. On top of that, blue cheese is relatively high in saturated fat. While not quite as processed as cheese slices, it still contributes to bad cholesterol levels. When eaten regularly, if you already have a history of high blood pressure or vascular inflammation, the added fat and tyramine can tip the scales in the wrong direction. Now, I'm not saying you can never enjoy it again, but moderation is key. And for many, especially if you're noticing blood pressure creeping up or if you're on medication, it might be safest to skip it altogether. So next time you're building a salad or cheese board, think twice before reaching for that blue veined wedge. There are better, gentler options for your blood vessels, and we'll get to those soon. But first, there's another creamy favorite we need to talk about. It's smooth, rich, and practically a breakfast staple for millions, especially spread thick on a warm bagel. But if you're over 60 and reaching for cream cheese every morning, it's time to pause and consider what it might be doing to your heart and arteries. Unlike harder cheeses, cream cheese contains very little protein and almost no calcium. Instead, it's mostly made up of saturated fat. Just 2 tablespoons, that's about the amount you'd spread on 1/2 of a bagel, can contain over 9 g of fat, the majority of which is saturated. Here's the issue. When your diet is high in saturated fat and low in beneficial nutrients like calcium or protein, your LDL cholesterol, also known as the bad kind, can start to climb. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that elevated LDL cholesterol in older adults is a major predictor of atherosclerosis, which means fatty deposits begin lining your arteries. And when those arteries are in your brain or around your heart, puts you at direct risk for stroke or heart disease. Even worse, because cream cheese is often eaten with refined carbs, like white bread or bagels, it causes a spike in blood sugar followed by a dip, which can make you feel tired, foggy, or even dizzy. That foggy-headed feeling after breakfast, it might be more than just a bad night's sleep. Now I get it. Letting go of a favorite comfort food isn't easy, but you don't have to say goodbye forever. Instead, try swapping in a lighter, protein-rich spread like whipped cottage cheese or even ricotta with some herbs. You'll still get the creamy texture, but with a lot more nutritional support for your brain and circulation. Alright, we've got one more cheese to be cautious about, especially if you like things all American. Let's talk about that next. American cheese. The bright yellow slices that melt perfectly on burgers, grilled sandwiches, and even scrambled. It's practically a symbol of comfort food in the US. But if you're over 60, this familiar favorite might be doing more harm than good to your blood vessels. First, let's be clear. American cheese isn't really cheese in the traditional sense. It's what's called a processed cheese product made from a mix of milk, whey, emulsifiers, food colorings, preservatives, and yes, a little bit of real cheese. The result? Something that tastes creamy and melts beautifully but offers very little nutritional value. One slice of American cheese can contain up to 400 milligrams of sodium and nearly 5 g of saturated fat. But what's even more concerning are the synthetic additives. Some of these, like phosphates and emulsifiers, have been linked to inflammation in the blood vessels, which over time can weaken the arterial walls. For older adults, that means a higher chance of developing vascular issues that can lead to cognitive decline or stroke. A recent review published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition pointed out that people who consumed more processed cheese had a significantly higher risk of cardiovascular disease compared to those who chose natural cheeses. The reason? It's not just about fat or salt, about how these artificial compounds affect your entire vascular system. Oh, if you're using American cheese daily, especially in sandwiches or melted on top of meals, it might be time to reconsider. Instead, opt for a slice of fresh mozzarella or even goat cheese. These alternatives not only offer more nutrition but also support brain function and circulation without the chemical overload. And speaking of better options, it's time we shift gears to the good news. The 4 cheeses that can actually help protect your health, nourish your body, and even reduce your risk of stroke. Let's start with 1 that's creamy, light, and full of benefits for your muscles and blood pressure. A soft, mild cheese that doesn't just taste good but actually works with your body to support better health after 60. Unlike the processed cheeses we just covered, ricotta is made by reusing the whey left behind during cheese production. That's important because whey is loaded with high-quality protein that your body absorbs easily, especially important as we get older and begin to lose muscle mass more quickly. Just half a cup of ricotta delivers around 14 grams of protein, including a rich supply of amino acids that help with muscle repair. And why does that matter for stroke and heart health? Because stronger muscles help support better balance and movement, reducing your risk of falls. But even more important, ricotta's high protein content can help regulate blood pressure. Another perk of ricotta, it's naturally low in sodium, often just 50 mg per serving. That means you get all the flavor and texture without pushing your daily salt intake over the edge. And let's not forget the calcium. Ricotta is rich in this essential mineral, which not only supports bones, but helps regulate the contraction and relaxation of your blood vessels. Think of it as a gentle buffer against blood pressure spikes. So how do you add it to your day? Try a scoop of ricotta on whole grain toast. Mix it into your scrambled eggs or blend it with herbs and lemon juice for a heart-healthy spread. You'll be feeding your body and protecting your brain without giving up taste. Next, we'll move on to a cheese that's light, fresh, and surprisingly powerful for your circulation. Next up is cottage cheese. Often overlooked but one of the most nutrient-packed options you can keep in your fridge, especially if you're over 60. Its mild flavor and creamy texture make it incredibly versatile, but it's what's inside that makes it truly special for your heart and brain. Cottage cheese is rich in casein, a slow digesting protein that helps your body stay full longer and stabilizes blood sugar. Why does that matter for your blood vessels? Because steady blood sugar means less strain on your circulatory system, reducing inflammation and oxidative stress that can age your arteries prematurely. What's more, single cup of low-fat cottage cheese can give you about 28 g of protein with only a modest amount of fat. And unlike many processed cheeses, it also contains significant levels of vitamin B12 and selenium. These 2 nutrients are crucial for brain function and vascular health. B12 helps maintain healthy red blood cells and nerve function, while selenium acts as a powerful antioxidant, shielding your blood vessels from damage caused by free radicals. In fact, a 2020 study in Nutrients found that older adults with higher intakes of selenium had better endothelial function, the health of the thin layer of cells lining your blood vessels. When your endothelium works well, your arteries stay more flexible, allowing blood to flow smoothly and reducing stroke risk. Cottage cheese is also low in sodium if you choose the right version. Always look for low sodium or no salt added labels at the store, especially if you're watching your blood pressure. One of the easiest ways to enjoy it: add a spoonful to a bowl of fresh berries and a sprinkle of ground flax seed for a satisfying breakfast, or mix it with sliced cucumber and olive oil as a savory snack. Now let's turn to a cheese that's easy to digest and might just surprise you with its brain-boosting power. Goat cheese. Creamy, slightly tangy option that's not just easier to digest but also surprisingly good for your brain and energy levels. As we age, digestion becomes more sensitive, and the foods we once handled easily can start causing issues. Where goat cheese really shines: first, it contains less lactose than cow's milk cheese, making it gentler on your stomach if you're lactose intolerant or have mild dairy sensitivity. That alone can help reduce bloating, which in turn helps ease pressure on your gut and vascular system. But the real secret to goat cheese lies in its fat content, specifically medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs. MCTs are a type of fat that your body converts quickly into energy, especially for your brain. Studies from the Journal of Nutrition show that MCTs can help improve cognitive performance in older adults, particularly those experiencing age-related memory decline. So when you eat goat cheese, you're not just supporting your heart, you're fueling your brain as well. Another plus: goat cheese is rich in bioavailable calcium and phosphorus, both of which are vital for keeping your blood vessels strong and responsive. That means better circulation and lower risk of those dangerous blood pressure spikes that can happen overnight. Here's something many people don't know. Goat cheese also contains compounds called oligosaccharides, which act as prebiotics. These feed the good bacteria in your gut, helping reduce systemic inflammation, a hidden factor behind many strokes and vascular diseases. You've never tried it? Start small. Crumble a bit of goat cheese over your salad, spread it on whole grain crackers, or pair it with roasted vegetables. It's creamy, satisfying, and your blood vessels will thank you. Finish with one more cheese that's soft, fresh, and quietly working wonders for your arteries. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about fresh mozzarella. Not the shredded kind in a bag, but the soft, white rounds you find in water-packed containers. This cheese isn't just delicious, it's one of the gentlest choices you can make for your heart and blood vessels after 60. Compared to processed or aged cheeses, it contains far less salt, often under 200 milligrams per. That's a big win for anyone watching their blood pressure. Remember, when your blood pressure stays within a healthy range, you dramatically lower your risk of stroke, especially those nighttime episodes that often catch people off guard. But fresh mozzarella isn't just low in sodium, it's also rich in probiotics, those friendly bacteria that support gut health. Why should that matter to your heart? Because new research is showing a powerful connection between gut health and vascular inflammation. A study published in the journal Frontiers in Cardiovascular Medicine revealed that older adults with more diverse gut bacteria had lower levels of arterial stiffness and better overall circulation. By including probiotic-rich foods like fresh mozzarella in your diet, you're doing more than just aiding digestion. You're helping to calm systemic inflammation that quietly damages your arteries over time. Cheese also contains calcium and a modest amount of protein, making it a great choice for maintaining muscle tone and bone strength, two things that play a bigger role in stroke prevention than people often realize. Want an easy way to enjoy it? Slice some fresh mozzarella, pair it with ripe tomatoes, and a drizzle of olive oil, and you've got a simple Capri salad that's as heart-healthy as it is delicious. That you've met the 4 worst and 4 best cheeses for your health. It's time to tie everything together with a gentle reminder and a little encouragement for the road ahead. You don't have to give Health 365 up cheese to protect your heart. Just have to choose the right kind. Small change like swapping out a slice of processed cheese for a spoonful of ricotta or cottage cheese can make a real difference. These choices support your blood vessels, steady your blood pressure, and give your brain the nourishment it needs to stay sharp. After 60, every bite matters a little more. But the beauty is you're still in control. You can enjoy foods you love and still care for your health, one mindful choice at a time. So if you found a cheese you'd like to try or one you'll think twice about now, drop a comment below. Let's support each other on this journey. And if you'd like tips on how to pair these heart-friendly cheeses with other healthy foods, just let me know. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more simple, science-backed ways to stay strong, sharp, and thriving after 60. We're in